Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this podcast may find you. It is I, as always, Gavin,
And I, Jaden.
who is sipping a what?
Captain and Coke.
Oh. You want to clip that onto your shirt?
Yeah. Don't
so-
yell at me, I'm sensitive.
It is week 2 of Justin being out of commission for this time. The first time around, he was in Colorado doing family stuff for the holiday season. He had, I think, a family member go off on a mission, so it was like part Thanksgiving, part Thanksgiving and part like mission farewell kind of thing.
Okay.
And so I was on the phone with him today. He drove from from Syracuse out to wherever he was in Colorado, all to spend a grand total of 15 hours there, and then drove back.
Oh my. That's a quick turnaround.
That's a really quick turnaround. I wouldn't have done that. If I was going to spend that little time out there, I would have flown, but that's just my personal thing. I get it. You love driving. I'm going to be road tripping to LA in January. So I understand the want to do that, but at the same time, that seems like a really poor management of time on my end. But you know what, Justin? Live your best life.
Yeah.
Who are we to judge? We're not at Beer Hive this time. We are at the Jackalope, which is another bar here in downtown Salt Lake. Definitely more on the low-key end of things. We'll see how the atmosphere is picked up. There isn't really a great booth or anything to chill out in, but it's all good.
No, we are sitting at the bar right now. I like it. It's a good vibe.
Welcome, Jaden.
Okay, thank you.
So we're also doing this time around because I didn't really do my best diligence in leveling audio when Andrew joined us on the podcast. And you were a bit quiet, and I kind of wanted to do justice by, not just kind of, I did want to do justice by you.
Yeah, no
and
worries.
have you around for another one because, was that last one the first time you'd been on the show with us?
It was, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So, welcome. As I mentioned in the last episode, your Mazda 6 Turbo was featured on our channel a few years ago.
It was.
And it was stock at that time, and it is now not stock.
It is not stock, and it is showing that it's not stock.
How many miles are on it now?
I ticked over $111,000. Or $111,000. Jesus.
Well, it was almost $111,000 because you've since had a head gasket go, and you've replaced your transmission.
Yes, that is correct. I replaced my transmission at 76,000 miles.
That's early.
That's early.
Is that early by Mazda 6 Turbo standards? Is that a Mazda thing?
So the Mazda, I have the first year of the Mazda 6 Turbo for this generation.
Gotcha.
So I drove the car hard.
Yeah.
I don't know of another Mazda 6 Turbo that has that many miles. I spent multiple days out at Miller or UMC doing track days.
Yeah.
And it showed.
Okay.
I drive the car hard. I get my money's worth.
But you're also pushing more power through this gearbox.
I am, yes.
You're making, 290 or something?
No. So when I dynoed it, I was putting 225 down to the wheels. And that was
altitude.
At altitude in Boise. And that was pre-tune, and I have not dynoed it post-tune. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what the tune did to it. I don't know.
You haven't done it before or after?
I have not done it before.
Yeah. So if it's making 220.
And that was on a Mustang dyno, so it was the Heartbreaker dyno.
Yeah, sure. So you might be making 240 on a Dynapack or something.
Yeah.
So that would translate if you were stock, maybe 180.
Yeah.
To the wheels probably.
Probably.
It's
180,
not bad.
190.
I mean, it's not a bad jump.
No, not at all. Definitely by the butt dyno, you can feel it.
Yeah, I remember riding with you. We did a photo. Was it when we did the photo shoot? Well, the one where we did exclusively rollers. I think I rode with you back to Salt Lake.
Yes.
And it felt quick.
And that was pre-tune.
That was pre-tune.
That was
I
pre-tune.
thought that was post-tune.
No, I've only had the tune on there for about 6 months.
Oh wow, and that was a year and a half ago or some shit, right?
That's been a minute since we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, post-tune, I got the tune on it while I was in Boise.
Yeah.
Went and did a test drive of it, and it woke that car up.
Yeah.
It really improved the way that car handled its torque, handled its power, and it just took it.
Yeah. I'm thinking in the next year or so throwing a tune on my car because I found this company, TuneWorks, that the guy that runs that joint, he's in the Fiesta ST group. They do tunes for like rally schools, like for O'Neill Racing.
Okay, so they got some Fiestas under their belt.
They have some cred for sure, and I think it was like a jump from like 170 wheel up to I think it was like 220.
Oh wow.
Or like 210. Like it was
That
a
is a
significant
massive
jump,
jump.
and like 240 wheel or something, or like 220 wheel.
220 wheel in the Fiesta ST would just slap.
Yes.
That would be phenomenal.
Yes, because advertised from new is 197 horse or something, or something like that, like 220 torque. But that would be fun. That would be good to do. But what else is good, man? What's new?
That car, that Mazda 6 of mine, it's been giving me troubles.
Yeah.
I blew the head gasket in the end of October.
And it's now early December?
It's now early December, and I got it back 2 days ago.
Jesus.
2 days ago.
So what have you been doing in the meantime then?
I have some very good people in my life. I have a close friend's mom that let me borrow her car. She has two.
Cool.
So she let me borrow her Mazda CX-5 for about a month.
Nice. Is that a turbo?
It was not non-turbo.
Oh, that's right.
Non-turbo, yeah.
But still, like wheels.
Wheels, for sure. And ones that I was used to.
Yeah.
And then she let me borrow that for about a month. I felt like I had that car for too long, so I gave it back. And then I've been getting a ride from my coworker to and from work since then.
Are they also in Taylorsville?
They're nearby. They're not
Okay.
bad. They're in West Valley.
Okay.
So
Okay.
not
Yeah.
far at all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, huge help. I've been stressing about it, and yeah,
Now you don't have to.
now I don't have to. It's good to be back.
Hell
I
yeah,
miss
dude.
this car.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just in time for the snow to really fall.
Exactly. Now I'm like, damn it, do I need to get another set of tires?
Didn't you already have Blizzaks?
No, I have Vredestein Quatrac Pros.
And how have those been?
Phenomenal. I absolutely love the Quatrac Pros.
Okay.
I will do them again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about, like on my end, what I want to do for wheels and tires because I did just buy a set of the Continental Extreme Contacts.
Yes, and those
Sports.
are my summer tires.
And I bought those in 17s.
Okay.
Granted, the extra sidewall is good and not great at the same time. Like I have to take my front mud flaps off to clear.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's tight, real tight.
It's tight. I mean, it doesn't rub.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
felt them rub with those mud flaps off. If with them on, I even pulled forward within the parking lot at Nate Gracie's place.
Oh, okay.
I just pulled forward and touched the brakes and just heard a. I was like, that's gonna be a problem. So even before I left, I was like, guys, I know it's the end of the day, but like, can you help me out?
Please.
Please, I'm begging you.
I need a hand.
Exactly, I need a handy. So.
Oh.
So yeah, that's. Anyways, back to like my own like wheel and tire combo thing. I'm like, well, I do like the added sidewall. I haven't driven a Fiesta on 16s or 15s.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I have some fresh Blizzaks for this year as well. Because I just ordered a pair to go on the front.
Just got those. I remember that.
Just got those. So I'm like, okay, I'll burn through them this year, and then I'll have a good set of summer wheels and tires for next year, like for next summer. And before I need wheels or before I need tires for next winter, I'll get a pair of like 16s or a set. My words are all over the place, but a set of 16s probably. I don't think I would necessarily go down to 15s because tire sizes get weird.
They do.
At that point, and that's too much math.
That's fair, honestly.
So
I think 16s is a safe bet.
Because I'm still getting myself extra sidewall, and that's really the motivator, because like even considering their squishy winter tires,
Yeah.
they ride hard as fuck. They ride just as hard as my Indy 500s
Oh.
on 17. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They ride, my Blizzaks ride worse than my Continental Extreme Contact Sports.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks,
Wow.
I hate it.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, who knows? We'll see how winter goes. If I walk away from my Cali trip with a little bit of cash and I'm also doing well with my job during the winter, I might just get a set of OZs or something.
Damn.
if I feel like, or
Big
or
one
or,
over
or a Sparko or something like.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to stay in like the rally theme, like the
Yeah, you got it with that car.
I have to.
So, speaking of your new job,
Yes.
so you finished out your last week at the flower shop.
I'm wearing my hoodie actually.
Oh,
this is
all
my
right.
Native Flower Company hoodie. Yeah, my last day was on Friday. And
How was that?
It felt like my birthday. It was great.
Really? All right.
People like talking to me about my, my next steps and, saying, "Oh, we're gonna miss you so much," like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like all week, it was kind of like that, and it was the last couple of weeks have felt like the longest fucking 2 weeks of my life. Because like, okay, just gotta get through this, and like some of the days have been kind of slow too.
Yeah.
Because we're phasing myself out, and I had a secondary driver that was below me, and we're moving her up to fill my position as primary, and then have somebody else fill in as secondary.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like a whole hierarchy.
Upshift.
Yeah, everyone's getting an upgrade. So, especially me.
Yeah.
So, no, it was good. Yeah, my boss went out of town for not like a family emergency, but like this is one of those things where like it might be grandma and grandpa's last Christmas kind of thing.
Oh.
So she went out of town. So last day I saw her was Wednesday. I finished out the week. And yeah, I got dinner with my girlfriend on Friday night. We went to Lakai Noodle House and got pho.
Oh, nice.
Got some plum sake to go with it. It was
There you go.
very nice.
Just a nice little celebration.
Yeah, exactly. Keep
like
it low
it.
key. And yeah, it feels weird. I've worked 1,145 shifts
Holy
at Native Flower
shit.
Company. Yesterday, I cleared out my texts. So with my job as a flower delivery driver,
Yeah.
with every arrangement or every delivery that was sent out, I would send a text to at least the sender of that arrangement. And if the recipient isn't home, I would send a text to them, whether it was left at their doorstep or at a neighbor's place or whatever.
Yeah.
In their garage if somebody lets me in, telephonically.
Yeah.
But I would send a text to at least one, if not two people. And I also realized that I have texts that were transferred over from a previous phone. I got my current phone in 2020, but I found texts in there from 2019. I cleared out over 7,000 text messages yesterday.
Holy shit.
I was able to, luckily, at least press hold and just swipe
Just clear them all.
until I saw one that I wanted to keep, skip that one, press and keep going, and rinse and repeat, and I did that. And like while I was doing that, by the way, I was just like hoping and praying. I'm like, I hope I don't get a phone call during this. I hope I don't get a text during this. Because like that, my shit would have been wiped, or my progress would have been wiped. But I deleted some photos. I definitely need to go in and do more. And do a solid wipe. But yes, like 7,000 text messages.
Jesus Christ.
Nuts. I have in my phone 9,900 photos. Granted, a lot of that shit is like personal, and when we're out doing extra speed stuff.
Yeah.
Daily life, good night shit. Like,
I mean, that's 3 times what I have in my phone. That's ridiculous. That's
Yeah, it's a lot of flowers.
Fucking pictures.
it's a lot of flowers.
That's a lot of
There's
flowers.
a lot of currently dead flowers now.
Yikes.
But yeah,
wow.
it feels good. I'm a little anxious, if I'm being honest, because like I've done this kind of job before, but It was for one company, and I was only doing photo and video. And granted, it was before I worked at the flower shop, which it did end up kicking my ass and got my ass into gear as far as like a work ethic is concerned.
That's good.
Yeah. But I'm coming in self-conscious. I'm coming in anxious a little bit. I'm excited.
I mean, it's to be expected.
I'm really excited. And for those that don't know, I'm going to be working at Expedition Superstore. It's weird because we have Exhibition of Speed, and now I have Expedition Superstore, which also encompasses Grasshopper Trading Company, 23-0, and I believe there's a fourth company. I need to do some research before tomorrow morning.
So you do start tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning, 8:30.
Okay. That was going to be one of my follow-up questions.
Yeah. I work out in West Valley, just off of 201 and Bangerter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Easy access.
Yeah, you're right in my neighborhood now.
Kinda.
Fairly, you're not far from me.
From your place?
Yeah.
You're like 45th-ish south?
47th and Bangerter, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, just up the street.
Yeah. Real quick.
Come say hi.
I mean, maybe. You know my schedule. I'm always busy.
That's very true. But you always make time for me, so I
try.
I appreciate it.
I try.
Cheers.
It's always fun. Cheers.
I'm having a Guinness. You're having...
My second Captain and Coke.
That's right. And I had Jack and Coke at Green Pig before we deemed it very much too loud.
They were doing trivia night. There was a lot of yelling.
Loud music. You started talking about your head gasket, and I was so deafening I could barely hear you.
Yeah, it was loud there. It wasn't a good spot.
It was a bit much. Green Pig, if you're listening, which I know you're not, but if you are listening, let us rent out your patio. I'll write it off for taxes.
That would be
for the
phenomenal.
show. Wouldn't that be cool?
Right when it starts to warm up, though. I don't know if I'm down to do a podcast in the cold.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind for sure. I'll bring a plug-in blanket.
There we go. All right, I'll just be all bundled up.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
I'm there.
I'm super down with this. At least none of our gear is going to overheat at that point.
You're right. Yep.
Fun fact, so I have two different HVAC units in my apartment. One's in my bedroom that works.
Okay.
And one that's in like my dining room / just a corner of the other part of my apartment that the fan doesn't work. There's a little bit of radiant heat if you put your hand next to it, but it's not much. And it's just heat that's radiating out of it. It's not actually being pushed.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So I was really happy to take a shower, like just before coming out to do this, and then getting out and like doing stuff because fuck.
Yeah.
I was kind of freezing my ass off today. And now that I've said it on the podcast, and hopefully there's somebody out there that has heard this, there could be some level of accountability for myself to actually get this done.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
This is
now it's out there.
Projecting. I'm manifesting.
There you go.
I'm manifesting.
You have to manifest it.
Yes. Because I definitely need more to do, for sure. Yeah, I'm actually starting to plan a trip to Cali with my girlfriend.
Nice. That's the one in January?
Yeah, so I'm turning 30.
Yep. Congratulations.
Which I hate.
That's fair.
Because I'm going to be officially uncool.
Gavin, you'll never be uncool in my book.
I was already uncool.
No.
Well, thanks. Anyways, in celebration of starting this uncool journey, I'm going to road trip down in the Fiesta with my girlfriend. I'm actually going to probably swap tires.
Okay.
And throw my Extreme Contact Sports on, hoping, fingers crossed, that the weather is good leaving town.
Yeah.
And the weather's going to be decent on the way back into town.
Yeah.
And yeah, road trip down there. And for a couple of days, I'm actually going to snag a Turo. I found a 718 Boxer GTS 4.0.
That's right. That's what you were saying.
Yeah. It does have a $750 refundable deposit.
Ouch, but at least it's refundable.
It's totally refundable. I just need to pay down some credit so I can just throw it on the credit card.
That's fair. Yep.
But yeah, so did I show you photos of it actually?
You did not.
Oh, it's this really pretty blue. here. I sent it to Andrew. This is making for fascinating radio, and I'm sure people are still listening.
They're into it right now. This is what matters.
You are just so into it. Here, if I scroll over here. Really? I sent photos, bitch. God damn. But yeah, 718 GTS 4.0. So it's got the naturally aspirated 4-liter flat 6. It's got PDK. That's definitely like a medium rich blue. Like it's not super dark, but it's rich.
Yeah.
It's not like Miami blue. It's not quite Mexico. I think that might be Oslo blue.
Oslo?
I think that's Oslo blue. If it is paint to sample.
That is gorgeous.
The PTS fanboys are gonna get on me for this, but yeah, it's basically the full beans and potatoes of what you want for a Boxster. And,
yeah.
I think so. I've rented a 718 Cayman.
Yeah.
Just the base 2-liter with PDK, and it was a riot. But when you're in the LA canyons, you're going up a canyon road, especially if that's like not a place that you live at. There's another added sense of novelty to the whole experience.
For sure.
And to complement that, I do believe in having a drop top.
Oh yeah, you got it when you're in California.
It's January, so it's gonna be like 50.
Yeah, 40s to 50s.
But it's gonna be warm compared to 20, which is what we're gonna be coming out of.
Definitely, yeah. You should be somewhat acclimated to it at that point.
I think so.
Going into the 50s, you're gonna feel good.
I think so, probably 50s and in the sun.
Yeah.
Also, like it's gonna have heated seats.
Yeah.
Wait, we can put the windows up.
Maybe a hoodie. Every once in a while.
Well, I went down to LA in January once to meet up with Farah.
Okay.
The one time I met Farah. And it's funny because when I got there, I was wearing t-shirt and jeans. And he was like bundled up in a hoodie and like a jumper and jeans, just like huddled up. He's like, how are you wearing a t-shirt right now? I'm like, because I just came from 20 degrees.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, their 50 is our 20 for sure. They're freezing at 50.
Yeah, it is funny though to hear about people that like move here from there, and or like my girlfriend who moved here from Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's not having a great time.
I don't blame her. Being used to that Austin heat and then coming here.
Yeah, because like
big
there
change.
right now is probably still in like the 70s, like the low 70s.
Jesus. How long ago did she move from Austin?
Over the summer.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this is her first winter here.
So she's from here originally.
Oh.
She is from Centerville.
Okay.
And moved to Austin for like a few years. And then came back here to do some college and then went back there for another few years and now is back.
Okay.
And now she's back for good. Unless she wants to move back to Austin, and then she's probably going to take me with her because I'm not doing long distance.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I've tried the long distance thing. It didn't work.
I feel like I would like Austin, though. I've never visited Texas.
Nor have I. I have some old neighbors that live out there.
Okay, where at?
Houston.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so they live in Houston. And I would like to go out there and explore and just say hi to them. Because my old neighbors, I mean, this is back when I was elementary school.
Like a kid, yeah.
Yeah, they had a kid my same age. We were really close back then.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to go out there and catch up.
We all had those.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be cool to go out there and catch up. She still talks to my mom occasionally, even.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's the name?
Jaden. Jaden. Yeah.
I love how respectful she's being of just like us podcasting.
I know.
We didn't even ask. When we were at Beer Hive, we were like, because I walked in with a backpack, and I was like, yo, like this backpack is full of like audio recording gear. Like, are we cool? And they're like, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, but you were also gonna pull out a large ass mic, and
They didn't know that.
that's fair.
They didn't quite know what I was pulling out. And for those that are listening that might know audio gear or that have an internet connection to Google, there's a Rode Podcaster, which is basically a USB mic equivalent to the Rode Procaster, which are the mics that Justin and I both use for our in-studio.
Yeah.
So, I had that on just like a desktop stand.
Worked out great.
Yeah, my audio sounded great.
Yeah, your audio sounded phenomenal.
Because I could also, well, the nice thing about that one is I can like take headphones and plug my headphones directly into it, and I have a knob that I can turn up and turn down the gain of everything. So I could hear you guys like through headphones, like not through any audio gear, but just air, like noise leaking in.
Yeah.
And I could hear myself just like I would be like in my own head kind of thing.
Okay.
So, which the first time doing that like is always kind of a trip.
Understandable.
Not like first time for me, like every time, but like if I were to just like throw it to you, you'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, 100%. I would be like, hey, Dad, help.
Dad. Yeah. But that microphone is on my desk right now.
Yep. No,
where it lives.
We're using a little. Which one? These are the Procasters, aren't they?
No. So the
What are these ones?
Procaster are what we have in studio, but no, these are like the Wireless Go 2s.
Oh.
So
okay.
there are a lot of people that you probably have seen like reels on TikTok or Instagram or something where they have like a little cube that like they hold up to you, or like hold up to whoever's talking,
okay.
or they might have it clipped onto their shirt.
Okay.
This is the second gen of that.
Oh, word.
And these are like fucking idiot proof. We use these on our NSX piece for all the cars. We use them
We used them on the Rossian.
on the Rossian and Gulf Porsche
Yep.
video, which currently has like 500 views. So go watch that.
Yeah, go watch that.
Because that was a lot of fun. Actually, what's funny, the recruiting guy that hired me for this new job, he dropped a reference to that video in our job in my job interview.
Really?
He was like, "Where'd you get the Grim Reaper costume?" It's like Spirit Halloween.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, go watch that because that was a 4 years in the making video.
That was a fun shoot.
And it was a fun shoot too.
That was a fun shoot.
Scared the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Because you rode in both and you drove the Porsche.
Correct. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Porsche? Like now that it's been like a few months.
Still great, honestly. But I've never driven an air-cooled Porsche before.
That's a hell of an introduction to air-cooled Porsches.
And that was my thoughts. So I'm hoping that it doesn't spoil my other air-cooled Porsche experiences.
If you're able to... Anyways, I'm getting distracted by the conversations, but if you are able to separate in your head that the Gulf backdate 911 that we drove, for those that are listening, some guy, somebody, or gal, I don't know, took a 1981 911 SC Carrera, ripped the body off of it, threw a backdate treatment to the body, so looks like a early 70s 911 with the ducktail and this beautiful powder blue paint.
Gorgeous.
And did some like vintagey interior mods like the Momo Prototipo wheel, these really aggressive bucket seats with houndstooth centers in them that are just the fucking titties.
Fitting. So fitting.
Oh, so good. And this really nice, like a Momo Heritage-esque style shift knob that multiple wooden grain.
Yeah.
Like the perfect round orb. Oh, so good. I love that. So with that treatment and within this 911 SC, they took a 3-liter Porsche 930 turbo motor from like a late 70s car with that same era, late 70s 915 gearbox. And I've actually done some research. There's like 4 or 5 or 6, I think at least, different variations of the 915.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Oh,
it's not
shit.
just one
Okay.
gearbox. It's not like saying that it's a 7-speed dual clutch.
Oh,
It's not like saying it's a Volkswagen dual clutch or anything like that. It's like there's a bunch of different like little subtle variations. And I think part of it has to do with final drive on some of them. Some are different gear set ratios. Some might just be manufacturing and like the placement of things and like how things line up.
Yeah, and that makes sense for Porsche, honestly. I'd be surprised if
does.
they didn't do a bunch of different variations of it.
They're like constant little facelifts throughout the years, Yeah. Because there would be like 2 or 3 year bubbles of like, okay, so this one is from this era that was like 3 years long and it's using these cars.
Yeah.
So I need to find that link and like send it to you just so you get an idea for what it is. Because did some of my own digging on like old, like what the Porsche market is doing right now, and I was looking at some old air-cooled stuff. There was one I found. I'm going on a tangent, but there was one that was like this beautiful baby blue that was for sale in Los Angeles, actually.
Okay.
It was just a 911 SC, so from 1978 until about 1983, 84, and it had 250,000 miles on it. And it looked like it had 50,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I sent it to Justin.
That is a lot of miles for that car.
I mean, but like, if you just do your top ends every 100K,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know, just keep up on maintenance. Like they just keep going, and that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
why I really love these cars, because they really can just get the shit kicked out of them. Oh, go ahead.
Does that one have the Messerschmitt motor?
The what?
Is it the Messerschmitt? Am I
Metzger?
Metzger? That's what I
No,
was
so
fucking thinking of.
Hans
Jesus
Metzger
Christ.
was a racing engineer and developer for Porsches, like Cup cars and like their GT2s
Oh, okay.
and their GT1s. He actually did the engine for the Porsche GT1, which, if you don't know, is very, very loosely based, kind of, on a 911. It looks like a mid-engined hypercar from like the mid-90s, but it had a twin-turbo flat six. Oh man, I should have bought that. But
Oh wow.
I just want to go.
I don't know if that's the angle, but is that front end been repainted?
You know, I was wondering that because there are some other photos. Oh, there were a fuckload of photos. Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. I think the front end was repainted
Oh, it had to be.
because look at that.
Yeah, and even from that main side profile up one more,
Especially that one.
right there, like you can see the color difference in the door and the fender.
Yeah.
From that angle.
Yeah. But I mean, but for a driver quality,
Yeah, for
like
sure.
if you're not fussy.
And what did
over
that car end up selling for?
41
That's not bad. For today's market.
for today's market.
For today's market. Let me specify that.
15 years ago, this is certifiably a $12,000 to $17,000 car.
That is fucking wild to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was like really, really fucking clean for a quarter. Is it 256,000 miles? That's what it was.
I thought I saw 276.
Or maybe, yeah, it's 276. Excuse me.
Wow.
So over 250,000 miles. This looks like this, aside from the mismatched paint, that could be a 76,000 mile car. It could be a 46,000 mile car.
Yeah.
It could be, you know. So
Wow.
that's probably, as far as quality is concerned, more of what my dream and what I would be actually looking at
Okay.
for my first Porsche.
So you're not looking for a pristine quality show car almost.
No,
You're
because
looking
I
for
would
a
feel
driver's
guilty.
car.
I would feel really guilty. Now, remind me, did we talk about what I'm looking at doing for my next car?
I can't remember. We talk a lot about cars, so a lot of it I forget. Yeah. Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
We do it from time to time, but so with this new job, if I can stay there, if I can keep with it, if I can grow, if I can put some money away. So I'm 29, I'm about to turn 30.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about a Porsche by the time I'm 35.
Okay. That's not unfeasible.
If I can put away $500 to $1,000 a month into savings,
Yeah.
buy it with cash.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see what the Porsche market is like in 5 years. Who knows?
Yeah.
This might be the last time I have, and I might miss the boat by then.
Even if you can't buy it in cash, you would have one hell of a hefty down payment on said Porsche.
I wouldn't want to make payments on something like that, though.
I don't blame you at all.
But that's just me.
I guess it's depending on where the market's at.
It greatly depends on where the
Yeah.
market's at. I mean, fuck, in 5 years, there might be GT4s that are within reach.
I don't know about that with the GT4.
You think it's a bit high?
I think that's a bit.
Because they got the GT treatment?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might sink into the 70s.
Yeah.
I can see first gens.
Okay.
I'm not talking about GT4 RSs because that's going to be a collector car forever.
Yeah, 100%.
But if we're talking about like a 2016, like a GT4 in like a Guards Red,
yeah.
that could be like 80 grand.
Yeah.
And if I saved up 35 to 50, and if
Yeah.
like what you're talking about, like a $50,000 down payment on an $80,000 car, I get to finance $30,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's 100% feasible.
Yeah. But that's actually not what I was looking at. I actually wrote the Everyday Driver guys. I wrote the car debate.
Wow.
Because I don't do this very often.
Yeah.
And Paul is a diehard Porsche fan.
Of course.
But of course. And Todd has the sensibility to bring something else to the table. So what I'm looking at, and if people listen to this and if they have an opinion, please feel free to write us at mailbag.eos@gmail.com or just slide in the Instagram DMs at Exhibition of Speed. But what I'm looking at doing, if I want to get the attainable thing, just get a 996 Carrera S or a
Okay.
Carrera with the stick. But at that point, I feel like I'd have to find the right color combo.
Yeah.
What would be awesome is if Nate decided he wanted out of his.
Yeah.
No, but it sounds like
Hit,
Because-
Nate.
fucking smart.
Yeah, Nate, holla at your boy. But for those that don't know, we actually drove and reviewed that car on our video about how the Porsche 911 has grown over 20 years.
Yeah.
So this is a Guards Red 996 Aero kit with black interior, red contrast stitching, and since then he's actually done houndstooth centers in those seats.
Oh,
And
Okay.
I don't think it's a straight pipe, but it's fucking loud.
is it?
It's
Oh.
gnarly. And lowered on coilovers with TE37s.
Yep.
It's the fucking business. I would love that car. That would be a riot.
That'd be a good car. It's a driver's car for sure.
It is
Nate
a driver's
drives
car.
his cars.
Because of who Nate is.
Yeah.
He bought it with like 49,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
kind of continued to drive the piss out of it. When I first saw that car, it was January of 2020.
Okay.
And I met up with him. I had Smuckers at the time. Do you remember that car? The Miata with the fastback on it?
No.
Really?
You really?
So I'm gonna have to speak. I'm gonna have to be tactful about this. I was housing an NA Miata
Okay.
that was what version was it? It was some special edition.
Was it like the M edition?
It was an M edition.
Okay.
Yeah, it had the 1.8, the limited slip diff. It had that jelly colored, like the purplish paint.
Yep.
With
I
peanut
know
butter
exactly
interior.
which color you're talking about.
So that car had a fastback on it,
Really?
an aftermarket fastback, and because that car had been totaled like 3 fucking times before, it didn't actually
course.
fit right. But it looked cool.
Okay.
And so somebody that I was friends with asked me to house it for them. And I was like, okay, fine, but like toss me the keys and I'll keep it running.
Yeah.
I'll put gas in it, I'll keep it running, make sure gaskets and like everything's happy and just keep it running for you. And yeah, those were kind of the stipulations.
Okay.
And after a certain point, they became uncomfortable with me driving their car,
Huh.
which was interesting. They kind of double backed on it.
Yeah.
But whatever. But I went on a drive with Nate up to Wolf Creek.
Okay.
But like up to the gate. Like the gate was closed. This was January, so of course it was
Yeah.
gonna be closed. There were a bunch of like snowmobiles and shit around. And let's see, I just got distracted. How long have we been recording for? They won't even tell me actually, but it's fine. I should have set my watch to it.
No worries. I can't remember either.
Huh?
I can't remember either.
It's all good. We'll just have to see how well this thing records. But I went on a drive with Nate, and we actually swapped keys. And so
Okay.
he drove the Miata and loved it.
Okay.
And I drove his 996. And because of what was happening in my personal life at that time, that was actually a really fucking significant moment that I can tell you off mic.
Okay.
But I drove it then. I drove it around the summertime when I took photos of his Caprice Classic.
Oh.
Yeah, we took photos in Ogden, and actually we used his car.
I remember those pictures.
Yeah, we used his Aero kit as the camper car.
Oh, dude, I'm all for it. Yeah.
So that was fun. And then we drove it on Exhibition of Speed, and Justin did a short review of it. So that car would be a significant car for me personally. But the other options include 981 Caymans.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. If I can find a manual last of the 6-cylinder Caymans in a good color.
Yeah.
I'm not talking GTSs.
So just like a Cayman S, right?
Like a Cayman S manual.
Okay.
Trust me, I remember.
I think
Doesn't have to be
that'd be
sport
good.
chrono or anything.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
we're gonna be doing our shift change.
Okay.
Okay.
Shortly, so I have to close you out, but
No
I
worries.
can get you like another round or something before I do that if you want. Or
I'm good. I'll just close out.
okay.
Can I
Thank
get another
you.
Guinness?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, thanks.
My new spec that I just fucking brought up to you and I put the econ.
So, what?
By the way, we have about 10 minutes till we're about on an hour. Because I remember looking at that clock at saying 7:11.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
I mean, we'll just see the possible issues that we face, and are these microphones getting out of phase
yeah.
by about 3 to 5 frames or so.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's a thing of like, do I just cut it later? It's do I just say fuck it and just like this is our mobile setup for now and just say fuck
Send
it?
it?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're also running this receiver
True.
that is helping. So maybe everything will just be merged. I can just take one audio clip and just send it onto Anchor, and it'll be good.
That'd be phenomenal.
I have no idea. Thank you. Do I need to pay you again?
No, you give me your card. I'm gonna close you guys out.
Sweet.
Thanks for the beers, boys. They didn't say no ever.
Actually, that's change.
Whoa. Easy.
I don't know what's happening, but it's fine.
It's all right.
Um,
Where were we at?
we were talking about Porsches.
Yeah.
So
the 981.
So the thing that I'm looking to
Cayman.
do is have like an occasional summer daily. I can road trip. I can throw shit in the back.
Yeah.
Something that won't beat me up all the time. The thing about Porsche is that manual like the manual gearbox, like how those cars feel with that flat 6, especially if you get like a fab speed and open up the exhaust a bit.
Yeah.
I also know that if you do like an intake tune exhaust on the 981s, if you start with the 981S
Yeah.
and do intake tune exhaust at sea level, you can start to get around the neighborhood of 400 horse,
Okay.
which is not
That's
nothing.
that's
And
not
they carry
bad at
speed.
all. That is.
They carry speed really well. The 981 Cayman to me is the perfect merger of engaging when I want a really good driver's car. It sounds good. It can be comfortable when I want it to be.
Yeah.
It's nicely appointed. The interior like looks nice, and you can even do like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay updates to those, so you can modernize it a bit.
Yeah.
You have great storage because you have that entire area behind you that's on top of the engine and a really deep trunk.
Okay.
I mean, I rented on Turo this Cayman GTS with the Sport Chrono and PDK. I've mentioned it in videos before. I didn't do a video review of it.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna keep this receipt because that means I'm gonna get this shit back in April.
Taxes, baby.
It's all about playing the system.
Exactly.
I mean, fuck, the churches and the billionaires get to do it. Why the fuck can't I?
Exactly.
I do feel like... Oh, okay, sorry. Let me go back. So in 2019, for those that haven't heard, I rented for a few days a 981 generation Cayman not GTS, sorry. A 981 generation Cayman S with the Sport Chrono Pack and PDK.
Okay.
I drove it I picked it up in Taylorsville, funny enough.
Oh, all right. I wonder if I've seen it.
It's silver, and it was just off of Redwood, just south of where the 215 on-ramp is, like that little neighborhood in there. like on the east side of Redwood.
Okay.
I don't think they have it anymore because I've since searched on Turo, and the kid was already mentioning that it was his dad's car and they were thinking about selling it anyway.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah. So I was probably one of the last people to drive it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I drove for the people that live in Utah, drove it from Taylorsville up to downtown Salt Lake where it stayed overnight, and then drove it the next day from Salt Lake up to Tremont, where I stayed with some friends that own a trailer park up there, where I was then going to meet the next day with some people from the Park City Car Club and drive Logan Canyon, and then we drove the backside of Monte Cristo, down Monte Cristo.
How many miles were you allowed a day on that car?
Probably like 150 or 200.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. And this is during the fall, by the way, like peak fall colors in Monte Cristo. It was like bright fucking reds. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
It actually snowed at the top of Monte. Like,
oh wow.
We were like, I was kind of shitting my pants a little bit. And then came down Monte. We were about to do East Canyon. We were like, you know what? Let's just cut our losses because I've been dealing with like weird tire pressure issues, and yeah, because we're going from like decently
warm weather.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah. Moderately cold into snow.
Yeah.
So like there's weird temperature and pressure, changes. The
for
atmosphere changes, like all that.
That has a lot to do with tire pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. So we were going to do East Canyon after that, and I just got kind of tired of dealing with bullshit, so we just went home. But I put a lot of miles on that thing, and I didn't get tired once. And if anything, it made me want to work harder.
Okay.
And now I'm at a point where I'm like, I could put away for one of these.
Huh.
And I could have that experience all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I wouldn't blame you one bit for that car.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like roughly, 320-ish horsepower, about 280 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get a PDK if it was going to be this kind of car.
Yeah.
I would have some other daily. I would actually rather finance the daily.
Okay.
And have a sports car paid off. Because if I needed to get out of the sports car, I could.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That and
I wouldn't be tied up with anything.
Now, I always recommend full coverage insurance. Always. But with a loan, you are required to do full coverage insurance. Whereas on
I already do that anyway, so
I don't blame you one bit. But like if you had your your sports car, you could do storage insurance over the winter because you're not driving it.
True.
So you don't have to have the full coverage, but you could just do storage, so your payment's down. So you're not spending as much money on insurance.
I probably would do that. I would. Does it have to be stored at a storage facility in order to have
I believe
that?
it just has to be in your garage.
I was going to say, if it's in my parking garage under a tarp with like maybe a battery tender or something.
Yeah, as long as you're not putting miles on it, I don't think it matters.
I'd probably not. Oh fuck! Where is the? So the weird thing about Caymans, in general, is because that thing I mentioned about storage that goes on top of the engine, that makes everything not quite as serviceable.
That's fair.
Even when it comes to checking the oil or doing oil changes, they don't have a dipstick.
Fucking Porsches, man.
It has an electronic dipstick. It will tell you on the screen up front how much oil it has.
Yeah, but that's not confidence inspiring. I would.
Well, not just that, but when you do oil changes, you have to do like there's a whole procedure, there's a whole cycle.
I'm sure.
I wouldn't be bothered to do that shit myself.
No.
I would definitely take it to somebody to do that. Yeah.
Does it have like a certain amount of drain plugs on that car? I don't work on Porsches too often except for body work.
I don't either. I don't know.
Okay.
It's probably one drain plug.
So I know there's like.
Because it's not like it's a crazy like dry sump system or anything. It's not like it's a Lambo that takes like fucking 10 gallons of oil.
Yeah,
that's fair. It's not, I don't think it's quite to that level, but it just doesn't have a dipstick. You just have to like reset shit and like monitor things. You have to drive a certain amount of miles at a certain temperature and then turn it off.
Okay.
It's a whole thing.
It's a process.
It's a song and dance, but yeah. So, but I still think that driving experience and that ownership experience would still make it worth it. because I want something that I can put miles on, like
Yeah.
long distance miles, something that I can take in the canyons, something
For
I can
sure.
take on date night, and
Of course.
still feel special.
Yeah.
Something that I can take to work if I wanted to.
Okay.
Yep. Even at the overlanding place.
Pull up in a Porsche there. And
I mean,
"Sir,
hey
you do
man,
not
they
fit in."
had an overlanding Ram TRX that was there when I interviewed.
Damn. All right.
So if you want to talk about money spent,
Yeah.
just on gas,
Dude.
because those things are like stock are getting like fucking, I don't know, 9 or 10,
Yeah, at least.
and like, I don't know, if you're really trying on a Cayman, a 981 Cayman, those were getting like high 20s, low 30s on the
That's
highway.
not bad at all.
They actually, if you do a little bit of digging, they get one MPG better than the turbo counterparts.
Really?
Yes, like gearbox for gearbox, trim for trim, they get one better.
Wow.
And it's because when you're in boost happens early, and when you're in boost, the ECU and the injectors are just throwing more gas at the problem.
Yeah.
So I never really understood why downsizing and adding turbos makes a difference in fuel economy, unless if you're out of boost.
Yeah.
It's just to please the EPA.
Yeah. That's fair. But then you get like my car, you know? They didn't necessarily downsize the motor because Mazda's been turboed or been 2.5, 2.0 for a while. Lately they did the 2.5 turbo, threw a turbo on there, obviously, fuck.
2.5
But-
naturally aspirated, then
Correct.
threw a turbo on
and then
it,
threw
yeah.
the turbo onto it.
Yeah.
That turbo motor actually came out of the CX-9.
Oh, that's where it came out of.
That's the exact
Interesting.
motor that came out of the CX-9.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
has been in the CX-9 for years. So they decided to throw it in the Mazda 6, and then they decided to throw it in the CX-5.
Yeah.
But while I've been driving my buddy's mom, or while I was driving my buddy's mom's CX-5 non-turbo,
Yeah.
that was a 2020 or 2021 maybe. It non-turbo had cylinder deactivation, going up and down Parleys. Down Parleys, obviously I always get good with gas mileage. That car killed it on my car compared to my car.
So, I'm sorry. We're talking about a 4-cylinder engine with deactivation.
With
Does it turn
deactivation,
to a 2-cylinder?
it turns into a 2-cylinder.
It's 2.
If I remember correctly, I believe it turns off the 2 inner cylinders.
Oh, so it's just a 2
It's
outer?
just the 2 outer, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'm probably going to have someone correct me.
Well, if you know any better, like I said before, mailbag.eos@gmail.com or slide to our Instagram or find MILF Hunting on
Jesus.
on Instagram.
Yes.
Because that's Jaden's handle.
That is me. I am MILF hunting.
Are you?
Well, always. Single and ready to mingle.
Hell yeah, brother.
But, yeah, so I was getting phenomenal gas mileage with the cylinder deactivation.
That's nuts. I didn't know those, because I had, in 2018, I had, through Alamo, believe it or not,
Okay.
a CX-5 rental. That was
Okay.
a naturally aspirated CX-5.
Yeah.
I guess would that have deactivation as well?
What year was it? Sorry.
2018. Probably not.
I think it should have.
Really.
I think it should have.
Because Sky Active is the direct injection
Correct.
technology.
Correct. I believe the only, because my turbo doesn't have cylinder deactivation. I believe the non-turbos all did.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna have to do some digging.
For the current generation.
Yeah.
My buddy has a 2017 CX-5, and that does not have
Turbo? Or they didn't have a turbo at that time.
Doesn't have a turbo, and
Yeah.
it did not have cylinder
2017 though, so that was the previous gen.
deactivation. That was the very first facelifted version. That's the
Yeah.
very first second gen was 2017.
It's probably
was
the same
CX-5.
thing then, because this was in 2018 that I did this.
Okay.
Through a rental company, so God knows
Probably
how long.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd be shocked if it had cylinder deactivation. I don't remember EPA or the fuel mileage being that great. It was good, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
The things that my big takeaway from that was how well it actually, how flat it cornered,
Yeah.
and how the transmission would actually like rep match it.
It's a phenomenal
like your car.
trans. Yeah.
Like I drove that trans first in that car, and then drove yours later. I was like, yep, this is the same thing. This is awesome.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal trans. It handles it really, really well until you track it. Until you truly beat it up.
Yep. I mean, that's how. It's so interesting because I was kind of this way, but when you do drive on track, and this isn't that much of an epiphany or anything, there is just such a level of performance that you are driving on. There's a level of heat that comes off of a car from sustained driving like that.
Yes.
I actually didn't think when I drove my car on track that I was driving that hard. Part of it is because there aren't any like lines in the road, and there aren't any like mile markers or anything next to you. There's not as much of a
visual
aid.
cues. Yeah.
Yeah. But I fucking like almost roasted my clutch. I'm on the same clutch, by the way. Like,
oh, wow.
Almost 2 years later.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done the clutch once. Roasted my brakes. I got hot in like my engine got hot in like 45-degree weather.
Yeah. Yeah. Track driving, I don't care who you are, you can never get to the level of track driving on the street. Track driving is such a sustained, aggressive driving.
You just have to. You have to give literally not a single fuck about wildlife, other people on the road,
Exactly.
bicyclists, anything. Law enforcement, obviously.
Yeah.
Anything to even come close to the level of
Self-preservation.
For you or
Anybody,
the people,
yeah.
or the people in your car or the people that you're driving with.
Exactly.
So there is that a whole other level of driving, and it was really eye-opening. It was great because I also drove on East Track, which is my favorite of the in between East Track and West Track. I fucking hate West Track.
Really? I love West
I
Track.
detest West Track.
Really?
Yeah, part of it is because the time that I drove it was in Scott Chamberlain's E36
Okay.
325 IS, where I've driven that car like 4 or 5 times, and from the time that I drove it before the last, so second to last, so the change that happened in between the 2 times,
Yeah.
it had a more aggressive cam,
Okay.
a tune, slicks,
Okay.
and a shorter diff.
Okay.
And I spun that car like 4 or 5 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah, with him in the car with me.
Okay.
I kicked the rear end out like 4 or 5 times. I legitimately spun it once, and there's a video clip of coming out of a right-hander. It's the right-hander that comes up to that short straight before the hard left to go back on the home straight. So it's in parallel with the home straight, but just like kind of over a bit.
You're going against the grain of
You're
home
going
straight.
eastbound at that
Yeah.
point.
Okay. Yeah. I know exactly which corner.
So I came out of that corner, that right-hander, and spun it there. I didn't stall it. I actually put foot in the clutch and saved it. This is before I had any kind of intuition of driving manual as a daily. Like, This is before all that. Spun it. I was like, oh, wow. Like, I literally say that in the clip. I was like, oh, wow. Put it in first and take off. But Scott was also trying to...
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Scott was also trying to teach me how to trail brake.
Okay.
Without the use of any kind of telecommunication.
Oh.
Over a straight piped E36.
Yeah, I'm sure that worked out great.
Yeah, through helmets, what could possibly go wrong? So, I mean, part of it is my own baggage of why I don't like East Track. I should probably take my own car out there, because since I took my car on track, I have done stainless steel braided lines. I've done the Dot 4 upgrade, which I actually think my car comes stock with Dot 4.
Oh, okay.
I saw a thing on the cap that said Dot 4. I was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
with it being an ST, it would not surprise me. Honestly.
With an ST product, with like Focus ST and like how the RS came,
Yeah.
So, and I also have a better radiator too. I have my Mishimoto upgraded radiator. So, there's all that.
Which I should probably look into.
Yeah?
Seeing if Mishimoto has a nice radiator for me.
Did I tell you about the deal that I got with mine?
I think so.
So,
because you had your heating issues with your stock one, right?
Right. So that's a build date issue. I used to think that was like a per year issue, but I've actually heard otherwise, that it can just be a random fucking buckshot as far as build dates.
Lovely.
It can be touch and go. Some overheat in stop and go traffic. Some overheat when pushed really, really fucking hard up a canyon or with light track duty, and some barely, if at all, overheat on track.
Wow. Okay. And you were running into the issues with up the canyon and track, right?
Yeah. You want to move for a sec?
Yeah.
All right. So about Fiesta ST radiators.
Yes.
Mine would, if I'm really asking for it on like a hot summer day, used to overheat. But also at one point I would overheat going up Parley's, just cruising at 75.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
it got
okay.
weird. And at that point, a guy I know, Ben, who used to have a Fiesta ST, he has an Evo 10 now.
Okay. Different change?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that as a progression.
Yeah.
Have you driven an Evo 10?
I have not. I have a buddy that has one, but
They're
it's
good.
been down for most of the time I've known him.
Really?
Yeah. He's
They're
getting
good.
it rebuilt.
They drive well. So my deal that I got, he was reverting back to stock so he could make a sale to upgrade to the Evo 10.
Okay.
And he went through a company that has a good reputation in the Ford and Mazda world, but because of the past experience of a friend of mine, I'm not going to give them any business.
Okay.
But that happened after I went through them.
Okay.
So I didn't go in like with my friend's baggage and decide to go through them anyway. That happened after I went. And I'm not gonna give their name away. They did her fucking dirty though, on like their on shit service.
Tell it to me off camera or off mic?
Oh yeah, yeah. But Ben was going back to stock, and he had a Mishimoto radiator that was an upgrade.
Yeah.
And I got it installed for $400.
Wow. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Fucking fool to
Say no to that.
to say no or think otherwise.
Yeah, 100%.
If I had more money to do more stuff, would be like, yeah, I'll take your downpipe and I'll take your like all this other shit.
Yeah. Is he the one that you got the other stock wheels from?
The black stock wheels?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I do remember that as well.
Yeah. Which I'm gonna, I think, give to a friend of mine who just bought a base Fiesta sedan.
Okay.
But they're ST wheels, so like they're black wheels to go on a black ST sedan. Like it'll look good. It'll be cool. So
That's up badging.
You know what? I should buy some ST badges for him. Just
Oh,
to
that'd
throw
be
into
great.
It.
That'd be great.
Yeah, Trent, if you're listening, yes, that's gonna happen for sure. Get at me though, because he hasn't gotten at me yet. What was I talking about? I was talking
Overheating your deal that you were getting on.
Yeah,
there.
so I got a really good deal on a radiator, and we were talking about track driving.
Yeah.
And so I would be curious to see if I could actually overheat my car. With now that I have stickier rubber, I want to throw power at it, and I also want to do sway bars.
Yeah, we've been talking about the sway bars.
We have been talking about sway bars. I don't want to do anything as far as like coilovers or even lowering springs, especially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I really don't want to fuck up the suspension because people that have thrown some coilovers on have regretted it later.
And that's where I've been at with my car. I've been on coilovers 2.5 years.
Your car's already comfortable from the get-go, though.
It is. It is very comfortable.
Mine is
and,
not that comfortable.
Okay. I will stand by the fact that I ruined my ride quality.
Who'd you go with?
BC coilovers.
Okay. BC
So
aren't bad.
they're mid-range.
Yeah.
I would say.
But you've also upsized your wheels, right?
No.
Those
So
are stock.
yeah. So 19s came stock on that car.
Yeah.
For the GT, which is what I have. I've thought about downsizing to 18s.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I've thought about downsizing to 18s. My only thing is with that is I need to find the right wheels that'll clear my big brake kit.
Gotcha.
So that's the issue I'm running into with downsizing.
Have people done this before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The Koenig hypergrams will fit.
The hypergrams are dope.
Yeah. So I can look at those, but it's not my style on wheel.
Okay.
I like them, but not my style.
Okay.
So I need to shop around, see what would fit,
Sure.
do a little bit more research when I'm ready. Not ready right now. I still got to pay off my, turbo and exhaust manifold.
Yeah, that whole thing.
But yeah, no, I want to downsize to that, and then I have the sway bars,
Cool.
coilovers,
From who? Where is sway bars from?
Cork Sport.
Gotcha.
Yep. So I have the rear sway bar from Cork Sport, the front strut tower bar from Cork Sport. All my mods are from Cork Sport minus my coilovers.
Gotcha.
The coilovers are the only thing that I didn't get from Cork Sport, and that's just because they didn't offer them then. They offer them now,
Oh, funny.
but they didn't offer them then.
Yeah.
But no, so back to the coilover talk. I need new axles because of my coilovers.
Oh, because of like the geometry and how
The
it gets
geometry,
shipped.
yep.
Ah, fuck.
I was riding too low, and it overstretched my axles.
Yeah.
So I need new axles. I've already raised the car more,
Do
which
you need CV boots too? Is that part of it?
the axles will come with the CV boots.
Sure.
But yeah, the CV boots blew, which caused my axles to blow. So, yep.
F.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah. What about there?
Yeah. We were talking about Porsches at one point.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about my predicament, my conundrum, as it were?
Me personally, I would do the 996 Carrera
Over a Cayman.
over a Cayman.
Interesting. State your case.
I've always liked the styling of the Porsche better. Jesus Christ, the 996 better.
Better than what? Than a Cayman?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit bigger. I don't know why. I've always loved the slightly bigger cars.
Okay.
Always.
That's fair.
That's the styling of it. The 996 is just it's almost a classic at this point. It's got very
I mean, it's almost 25 years old.
yeah.
So, yeah.
It qualifies for the vintage plate.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck, I feel old. Holy shit. Jesus. Okay, yeah.
Sorry to throw that in there.
Making me feel vintage. Shit.
Yeah. But I mean, there's also that stigma. Oh, 911 over Cayman, always. I don't care for that. I've driven a Cayman. I absolutely love a Cayman.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've driven a Cayman S. Phenomenal drive. Great exhaust note.
What gen? Or what year, at least?
I believe the one I drove was an 09.
Oh, so a 987.
Yeah.
I was thinking about 987, like a facelift of 987, because IMS issues actually went beyond 996, by the way. I don't know if you know this.
No.
So IMS issues started actually in the first gen Boxster.
Oh.
Yeah. They started in the
Never
mid-90s.
been a fan of the Boxsters. Sorry.
Well, I mean, it's whatever. They're not my cup of tea. Excuse me. But they started in 986 Boxers. They continued into 996 Carrera.
Okay.
And basically anything that didn't have a Metzger engine. So Carrera 4S,
Yeah.
etc. And then briefly trickled into 987 Cayman and some 997 Carrera.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even in 996, when there's the quote-unquote most prevalent and what the internet wants you to believe is the most sketchy and dangerous,
Yeah.
it wasn't very frequent. It's something that you need to look into, like when you're buying one, and ask, like, has the IMS been done?
Yeah.
It also depends on how the car was treated before, also, because if the car was driven hard, the IMS actually doesn't need to be replaced a lot of the
Oh,
times.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Porsche engines like to be driven hard. They don't
God,
like to
that's
be
good.
baby. If you shift at 3,000 RPM in a 996, and if you have not a lot of miles on it, it's gonna need that IMS intermediate shaft bearing done.
Jesus.
Yeah, which is interesting because the kind of person that would be babying something like that is actively trying to avoid that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So, no, but someone who drives the absolute piss out of their 996 all the time,
Yeah.
they don't have that problem.
So, Nate.
So Nate, yeah.
Nate, Your car's a good car to buy.
Nate, sell me your car, bro. Just like give me 5 years and like I'll buy that car, 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So here's where I stand in between 996 and 981 and 987 as well. The 911 is a 911.
Exactly.
It always will be a 911.
Yeah.
It has that rear engine character.
Yeah.
It has for me, the attainable aspect. Not the attainable aspect, but the accomplishment of having a 911.
Okay.
Because I remember having a 911 like with my dad as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I remember that. If I could beat my dad to having a 911, also, because he got his when he was 50.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I got a 911 by the time I was like 35, it'd kind of be like, look what I did, Dad.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. It doesn't have the storage. They objectively handle worse
Okay.
than Caymans. The
Understandable.
mid-engine platform is objectively better for handling, but like, I don't know if I'm getting into this for necessarily pure objectivity.
Yeah.
This is a very emotionally driven purchase,
100%.
you know? So, I don't know. That's kind of where I stand. I mean, the Cayman can do more with like better storage.
Yeah.
Not as easy to work on, maybe. I haven't owned either one of them, so I can't really say from like personal experience, but yeah, I don't know. The Cayman is smaller. It might be probably more chuckable, better platform for handling, better storage, like I've said before. I don't know. I'm kind of going in circles at this point. But,
Yeah. So you're leaning more towards the Cayman.
I think for the first one, yeah. And especially if I buy it in cash, and if I'm not financing, and I could have it for like a couple of years,
Yeah.
and then I could easily, at that point, if I'm going with like that use of a Cayman, it's probably not going to go lower.
Yeah.
So I can put that towards a rear engine 911 by the time I'm like 38 or 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I could have I could have a 911. I could have like if I want to finance, I could turn that bought with cash 987 or 981 into like a 997 GT3. If I really wanted to finance shit.
Yeah.
If I really wanted it, if I had the income, if I had the insurance, I could take
Yeah.
care of it like that. How badass would that be? Going from a daily Fiesta ST into
981, 987.
yeah,
Either
exactly,
one of those.
into a Cayman and then into a 997 GT3.
I'm here
just
for
saying.
it. I'm here for it. I support you.
I'm manifesting.
Fuck.
Because I kind of don't feel that, I mean, I could be wrong. People with some other cars might feel a certain way about something, but I don't think driving pleasure gets much better than a 997 GT3.
I've yet to drive one, so.
I'm going to work on getting one for this year for a film.
Okay.
And you're going to drive it. It's going
I'm
to
all
be
for it.
fucking spectacular.
I've driven a 991 GT3 around the corner. That's all I've done.
What corner?
Just the corner at my shop.
Oh.
Yep, I didn't get on it.
Do I know the owner?
Yeah, I do. You don't.
Wow.
No. It was just a customer up there.
Was it a pre or post facelift?
Pre.
It was PDK?
Yeah.
So one of the greatest driving moments of my life, and I'm going to try to overpower these people next to me, but the greatest driving moment, one of the greatest driving moments in my life was windows down, going down the hairpin section of East Canyon
Okay.
in a 997 GT3 with a 997 GT3 RS flywheel on it and a fab speed exhaust.
Oh. Okay.
Windows down, flying into a hairpin, heel toe perfectly executed of a 3-2 heel toe, and like just chuck it into a corner, bro.
Oh my God.
That will bring a man to his knees.
Oh, 100%. The
Yeah.
revs on that car alone. sound
It
phenomenal.
doesn't go quite to 9K. Those go to like 80, I think, 500 or something? 8,800 maybe. But it's a Metzger engine, so it actually kind of feels a little different from a Porsche Flat 6.
Yeah.
Or even a Porsche GT3 Flat 6. They feel different. But the 997.2 had active engine mounts. It was the first time Porsche used active engine mounts.
Okay.
So there was like this weird like bleed over from 997 to 991. But I'm kind of rambling and the people next to us are getting kind of noisy, so I think I'll cut this. Thank you all for listening to another bar crawl of the Exhibition Speed podcast. Excuse me. If you want to show some love, you want to help support us, feel free to buy our merch at www.exhibitionofspeed.com. Go give us a follow on Instagram at Exhibition of Speed, all one word. And if you want to see some pretty neat car reviews, go head on over to youtube.com/Exhibition of Speed, or just search for us. Or actually, if you just Google Audi 4.2 V8, we pull up,
I love that.
which is fucking cool. So until next time, I guess, I've been Gavin,
And I've been Jaden.
and this has been the Exhibition of Speed podcast. I'm going to finish with my Guinness. Okay, bye.